Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to TCG University. It's me and Doa doing our deck profiles for our last campus championship, which was the DLC battle. So we're going to do the deck profile for Asui, 2-dot. Character states that, oh, it's a little blurry, my bad. So character states that if my attack is not blocked, my next attack gets +2 speed enhance, and then enhance my attack. I can discard a card from my rival's card pool to give my attack +4 damage. Yeah. So starting off, we go through the attack lineups as I usually do. We play 4 copies of Frigid Heatwave. This entire deck is nothing but ranged attacks, so the ability to mill an attack and draw cards, or just draw cards because I already have attacks there, is really nice. Also to give this damage increased as well. We play 4 copies of Amphibious Ambush because it clears my card pool, so I'm playing on +1 progressive as long as I can keep chaining that card with other attacks. And on top of it, it stuffs cards in my opponent's card pool so I can keep giving my attacks damage. 4 copies of Crow and Frog Takedown because it ignores progressive. It's a ranged attack, and more than likely your opponent's going to want to block it. So after they do, they put a card in card pool, and Sue's live at that point. 4 copies of Tape Stream Jab because it stuffs a card in the opponent's card pool. The whole goal of this deck is to stuff cards in card pool so you can get big payoffs from it, which is why we play Underwater. 4 copies of Eat My Sticky Balls. What a traditional card that we have here from set 1. Never gets old. It just says if it's not blocked, they stuff the top card of their discard pile in their card pool, and if they do block it, they still put a card in their card pool. So it's kind of a win-win situation. We're also playing a surprising number of high attacks, and I just realized that. And then I guess to throw them off the scent, we play 4 copies of Tongue Whip. It's the 4-low that just says it gets +1 damage for each card in my rival's card pool, and then it also stuffs the top card of my rival's deck into their card pool. Moving on to the foundation list that we have here. We have 2 copies of Defrosting for speed or damage reduction, or increasing, depending on the attacks. We're playing Water. There's no reason not to play some Speed Hate with 2 copies of Rescue Completed. 3 copies of Graceful Maneuver because it's really nice when we can stuff cards into my opponent's card pool and give attacks speed and or damage. Sorry, this doesn't even go off my opponent's card pool. It goes off mine. My apologies, but it's still -2 speed plus whatever else is blocked. It essentially helps ignore progressive. And we play 2 copies of Creepy Realization just because it says that I can increase or decrease damage depending on the amount of cards in my opponent's card pool. 4 copies of Classmate Introductions because it's just free speed, free damage for the first attack every turn. 2 copies of Irrefutable Force of Nature because it can shut down a foundation that's being a little pesky for me. So here's the risky one. We played 4 copies of Mall Day. In case I checked an attack and I just needed to add it back and I can wait and hold my hand, we use this so we can pick it up and we can just build out from there if need be. We played 4 copies of First Villain Encounter since it is sorry, very integral to ranged attacks. It gives my attack 1/1 and my next range attack -1 difficulty, meaning my guys that come in as 6s now come in as 5s. 2 copies of Think Fast because why not change the zone of your attack when majority of them are high? Just realized. We are playing Tsuyu. We're not super squishy, but like there's no reason not to play 3 copies of Wall Cling just so we can block things and not eat the damage. 3 copies of Struggling with Studies in case we need to pick things up for long attack strings. 3 copies of Ice Gliding. This is probably one of the better speed hate cards in the game for a -2 speed on something and then a -1 on the next if it's blocked. 3 copies of Observant Student just because it's a 1/5. It's a 1 low block, which is pretty solid, and it lets me see the top card of my deck if I ever need to. 4 copies of Gotcha because we're playing Speed Hate. Might as well play Gotcha when we play cards like Think Fast or cards like Rescue Completed. 4 copies of Desperate Times because if my opponent's drawing cards, they're more than likely going to try to extend their turn, so we don't want them to do that. And last but not least, we play 4 copies of Surviving the Final for a free -1 speed on any attack that I choose. Overall, the deck was fun to play. A lot of these decks were the first times playing them, so they could still use some work. I think the Sue deck could definitely use some work, just cut some cards down to make it more consistent, and then I think it would function really well. Probably add in some other form of draw just besides Frigid Heatwave. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out the other matches that we have on the channel and the other deck profiles that will be coming up. Thanks.